Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Langley Speedway in Langley, Virginia. I'm Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team, bringing you today's feature event, 50 fast laps in the iRacing late models at Langley. This, the top split, the best of the best on the iRacing service at the time this race was offered. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Starting in the 16th spot in car number 4, racing out of Florida, that's Chase Jefferson. Chase did not make the starting bell. Starting in the 15th spot in car number 12, it's the Aaron's rental equipment car of Leslie Jones, Leslie from the Carolinas. Starting in the 14th spot in car number 7, racing out of the United Kingdom, it's Russell Bright. In the 13th starting spot, it's the Haviland Chevrolet, car number 9, that's Thomas Fensler from Wilton, California. Starting in the 12th spot in car number 16, he races out of Canada, that's David Plain. In the 11th starting spot, it's the Valvoline Chevrolet of Jeffrey Lacados. Jeffrey in car number 10 racing out of the Virginias. In the 10th starting spot in car number 6, that's Nicholas Halda, the Los Pollos Hermanos Chevrolet out of Virginia. In the 9th starting spot in car number 14, racing with us from Kirkcaldy, Scotland, it's Colin McCarthy. In the 8th starting spot from Los Angeles, California, it's the 15 car, the Jeg Chevrolet of Eric McCarthy. Starting in the 7th spot, it's Josh Hohensee in car number 8. That's the Holly Chevrolet out of New Smyrna, Tennessee. In the 6th starting spot in car number 3, the ME car Lincoln Cain from Wisconsin. Now, your top 5 starters. Starting in the 5th spot in car number 13, that's the Snap-on Chevrolet of Michael Malbarn from Connecticut. In the 4th starting spot in car number 11, the JR Motorsports Chevrolet of Luke Ireland, Luke from Cumbria in the United Kingdom. Starting 3rd in car number 5, it's Kyle Conwisher from Canada. In the 2nd starting spot, in car number 1, Justin Haslett racing out of the Virginias. And on the pole in car number 2, that's Tom Pikowski in the Chevrolet-sponsored machine racing from Vancouver, Washington. Pinkowski on the pole for 50 fast laps at Langley Speedway. The lights are off on the pace car as they go by the start-finish line. We have one to go this time by. An excellent late model racetrack here at Langley. The turn's flat and broad. This is a driver's track. The best drivers tend to shuffle to the front. Tom Pinkowski on the pole here as the pace car leads the field back around. It's Pinkowski side by side with Justin Haslett. Just behind them, it's Kyle Conwisher and Luke Ireland. The pace car is in. Pinkowski hammers the throttle, gets a nice start. It's going to be Pinkowski taking the lead down into turn 1, followed by the one of Haslett, then Conwisher, Ireland, and Michael Malbarn. We're going to round out your top 5. Tom Pikowski takes that flying number 2 car down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Now through the center of 3 and 4, off of 4 onto the front straightaway. Pinkowski putting a little distance between himself and Justin Haslett. Pinkowski leads at the end of lap 1 of a 50-lap feature event here at Langley Speedway in Virginia. Pinkowski extending the lead over the one of Justin Haslett. Pinkowski doing a nice job handling that green and black Chevrolet and putting some distance between himself and the second place car. We'll ride along and follow Pinkowski down the racetrack. Pinkowski through turn 3, now out of 4 onto the front straightaway. The front chute here pretty short, and then a broad sweeping turns 1 and 2, relatively flat as Pinkowski then comes onto the back straightaway and rolls down into turn number 3. It's Pinkowski followed by Haslett, Conwisher, Malbarn, Ireland, Colin McCarthy with Lincoln Cain running 7th, Jeffrey Lacados 8th, Eric McCarthy 9th, and David Plain rounding out the top 10. Let's take a look at the front of that Pinkowski Chevrolet. Pinkowski continuing to lead as he and Haslett pull away from the rest of the field. That's Tom Pinkowski in the lead, followed by the one of Haslett, then Conwisher, Malbarn, and Luke Ireland. Colin McCarthy in 6th, as Pinkowski runs a nice, smooth race, leading the field here at Langley Speedway. Let's take a look back through the field. That is the one of Justin Haslett in 2nd, followed by the 5 of Conwisher in 3rd. Then the 13, that's the Snap-on car of Michael Malborn running 4th. Looking to his inside is the 11 of Luke Ireland. Ireland looks like he's got position as they come out of 4 onto the front straightaway. Can't quite make the pass as Ireland pushing hard to get around the 13 of Michael Malborn. He's got to run this time, and it's going to be Luke Ireland moving into the 4th spot, dropping Malborn back to 5th. Looks like there was a little bit of a loose condition back here. The 14 car getting a little bit of sideways. That is Colin McCarthy. Lincoln Cain looking to McCarthy's inside. Cain trying to make a move on McCarthy. That is a race for the 6th spot on the racetrack. Cain looks like he's going to get side by side, drives down hard into turn 3 now, out of 4 onto the front straightaway. Lincoln Cain going to make the pass and move into the 6th spot. Behind the 14 of McCarthy, we've got the 10 of Jeffrey Lacados. That's the Valvoline Chevrolet running an 8th. And then behind them, it's Hohensee, followed by Russell Bright, and the 12 of Leslie Jones. That's the Aaron's late model in the 11th spot. Behind them is the 6 of Nicholas Halda. He is just had made a move on the 9 of Fensler. And then after Fensler, we're back around to your leader. That's Tom Pinkowski. Fensler gets up out of the way, gives Pinkowski plenty of room. Tom Pinkowski continues to lead. We are on lap 12 of 50. Pinkowski stretching the lead out over the 1 of Hazlitt. Kyle Conwisher continues to run in 3rd. Luke Ireland has moved up to 4th, dropping Michael Malborn to 5th. Lincoln Cain has jumped back into the 6th spot with Colin McCarthy in the 7th position. Behind them is Lacados, Hohensee, and Bright. Rounding out your top 10. Up front, it is all Tom Pinkowski as Pinkowski runs away with this race. We are 14 laps into a 50-lap feature. You have to ask yourself, is Tom Pinkowski using up his equipment early? And is Justin Hazlitt playing the long game, trying to hold on to the race car here and see what he can see? Out front, Pinkowski running hard, Hazlitt being patient, followed by Conwisher, Ireland, and Lincoln Cain. Tom Pinkowski closes on Los Pollos Hermanos. That car blinking in and out of existence. That's the 6 of Nicholas Halda. Halda having some internet trouble, continuing to blink in and out. That makes for a dangerous racing condition for the 2 of Pinkowski, as Pinkowski's going to have to try to find his way around a car that he can't see. If that car pops into existence at exactly the wrong time, Pinkowski can have some trouble. The 2 disappears. Pinkowski manages to get around. Now Justin Hazlitt's going to have to fight the same battle, trying to get around the Los Pollos Hermanos Chevrolet of Nicholas Halda. There are 11 cars on the lead lap. Lincoln Cain being shown in the 11th spot. He's a lap down now. Lincoln Cain somehow getting lapped here on lap 18 of 50. It's the 11 car heads into the pits. That 11 car is Luke Ireland. Luke Ireland making a pit stop. So maybe these are some green flag stops. We are 19 laps into a 50-lap race. Perhaps the tire wear becoming an issue. Lincoln Cain has been in. It looks like the 11 has been in. Justin Hazlitt stays out. It's Pinkowski, Hazlitt, Malborn, Conwisher, McCarthy. Oh, and a crash. The 5 has crashed. 2 gets into the 5. That's Conwisher who's crashed. The 2 of Pinkowski takes it right on the nose. That really damages the front of the 2 car. Lincoln Cain gets his lap back, and it looks like the 1 of Justin Hazlitt is going to make his way around the 2 of Pinkowski. Pinkowski getting into some trouble with a Kyle Conwisher car. So I don't know what happened with Conwisher. Conwisher had been running pretty well, but Pinkowski with damage both front and rear on the 2. That's going to put the lead in the hands of Justin Hazlitt. Hazlitt out front. We're on lap 22 of 50. Hazlitt trying to close on the 3 of Lincoln Cain. Cain, the last car on the lead lap, in 8th. Lincoln Cain just ahead of the 1 of Justin Hazlitt. Looks like Cain has some damage to the nose of that 3 car, so Lincoln Cain may also have had a little contact with the back end of the 2 of Pinkowski. Cain trying to hold off the leader. That's the 1 of Justin Hazlitt. Cain looks to the inside of the 7 car. That's Russell Bright. Cain making a move for position here, trying to get into the 6th spot and stay just ahead of the leader, Justin Hazlitt. Hazlitt out front, followed by Malborn, McCarthy, Hohensee, Jones, and Lincoln Cain, who is just in front of the leader, the last car on the lead lap. Leader goes by the 10. That's Jeffrey Lacados. Lacados being shown 5 laps down. We are approaching the halfway point. In fact, we are at the halfway point, and Justin Haslett continues to lead. He is working on the 3 of Lincoln Cain. Cain holding him off, now gives him some space as Lincoln Cain's going to allow Justin Haslett, the leader, plenty of room. Haslett making his way past, putting Lincoln Cain a lap down. There are 5 cars on the lead lap. Haslett, Malvern, McCarthy, Hohensee, and Leslie Jones, your top 5. Haslett moves in some heavy traffic. He's closing on the 12 of Leslie Jones. Jones, the last car on the lead lap. Cain looking to get that lap back as Lincoln Cain works on the back bumper of our leader. That's the 1 of Justin Haslett. Haslett trying to find his way around the 12 of Leslie Jones. He's got position on the inside. Justin Haslett's going to put the 12 car a lap down. Lincoln Cain trying to follow him by as Haslett holds the lead. Cain looks into the inside of Leslie Jones. Looks like Lincoln Cain will make the pass here. Cain moving into the 5th spot. Haslett closing on the 8. That's Josh Hohensee. Hohensee in the 4th spot, the last car on the lead lap. Justin Haslett nearly lapping the field, 21 laps to go. It's Haslett followed by Malvern, McCarthy, and Hohensee. Haslett working on Hohensee right here, trying to put Hohensee a lap down. Haslett gets a fender underneath, 2 wheels underneath the yellow line, holds onto the car coming out of turn 2 down the back straightaway, and Justin Haslett's going to make the pass on the 8 of Josh Hohensee. The door is open for Lincoln Cain. He also looks as though he's going to make a pass on the 8 of Hohensee. That will put Lincoln Cain into the 4th spot. Cain holding on to that 1st spot, 1 lap down, the lucky dog position if a yellow flag were to fly. Unfortunately, in iRacing, there are no yellows in the iRacing late model series. Out front, it's Justin Haslett, 18 laps to go. Haslett followed by Malvern and McCarthy, then Lincoln Cain, Hohensee, Jones, Russell Bright, Nicholas Halda, Fensler, and Pinkowski rounding out the top 10. 3 cars remain on the lead lap. It's the 1 of Haslett, the 13 of Malvern, and the 14 of Colin McCarthy. McCarthy has just worked his way around Malvern, so Colin McCarthy in the 2nd spot. Justin Haslett closing on the 13 of Michael Malvern, looking to put the 3rd place car a lap down, and McCarthy trying to get position out of turn 4. The straightaways here so short, corners so important. McCarthy gets to the inside down the back straightaway. It's going to be Haslett going around the 13 of Michael Malvern and closing now on the 14 of Colin McCarthy. McCarthy just ahead of our leader. If Haslett can pass McCarthy, he will have lapped the field. Haslett's car nice and clean, no damage. Every other car on the racetrack showing some sign of contact. The 14 of Colin McCarthy with a little damage on the left front. The 13 of Malvern, some damage on the right front. Lincoln Cain damage in the front. But Justin Haslett has a clean race car as he gets inside the 14 of McCarthy down the back straightaway, and it will be Justin Haslett now lapping the field. 14 laps to go. Haslett is out front, followed by McCarthy, Cain, Malvern, Hohensee, and Leslie Jones. Let's walk back through the field. That's the 14 of Colin McCarthy. First car 1 lap down. He's shown in 2nd. Behind him, it's the 2 of Pinkowski. Pinkowski 3 laps down in 10th. Then behind Pinkowski, it's the 3 of Lincoln Cain, sits in the 3rd spot. Behind Cain, the 13 of Michael Malvern sitting in 4th, with Hohensee in the 8th, 5th. These cars all 1 lap down. Behind Hohensee, the 12 of Leslie Jones is 1 lap down in 6th. Then behind those cars, it's the 11 looking to the inside of the 7 of Bright. Bright in the 7th spot, 1 lap down. Car number 11, Luke Ireland, 3 laps down in the 11th position. Behind them, it's the 10 of Jeffrey Lakotos. He's 5 laps down, shown in 12th. That brings us back around to the 5 of Kyle Conwisher, who is 7 laps down in the 13th spot. Then behind Conwisher, it's Los Pollos Hermanos, car number 6, Nicholas Halda, currently running in 8th. Halda continuing to have internet issues. Then behind Halda, we're back around to our leader. That's the 1 of Justin Haslett. Haslett has just gone by the 9. That's Thomas Fensler, putting Fensler 2 laps down. You can see the 2 of Tom Pinkowski working on Fensler. Pinkowski 3 laps down in 10th. Just behind them, the 14 of McCarthy and the 3 of Lincoln Cain. Cain working on McCarthy. This for the 2nd spot. Lincoln Cain trying to find his way around the 14 car. Cain with a little damage up front, but a quick race car Currently sitting in the third spot with 8 to go. He is just behind Colin McCarthy. It's Lincoln Cain in third, McCarthy in second. Cain looks to be the faster of the two cars, gets to the inside, gets into the 14, and around he goes. And that'll put Lincoln Cain into second. I'm not sure McCarthy's going to be happy about that, but he was holding Lincoln Cain up. There's only so much patience you can expect from a driver. Lincoln Cain moves into the second spot. Out front, it is all Justin Haslett. Haslett leads. He's got the field lapped. There are 6 laps to go. Haslett running a smooth, clean race as he comes into turn 1, now through the center of 1 and 2 onto the back straightaway. It's the 2 of Tom Pinkowski in 10 that is closing on the 1 of Haslett. Pinkowski in 10th spot, 3 laps down. He's no threat to Haslett. The only threat might be if there happens to be contact with any other car, lapped or otherwise, on the racetrack. I guess they're all lapped now. 4 to go. Haslett with the lead. Cain second, Hohensee third, Jones fourth, Malbarn fifth. Justin Haslett has run an outstanding race tonight. He's lapped the field. There are 3 to go this time by. Tom Pinkowski, probably a quicker car than Haslett, had a little bit of bad luck with an incident in some traffic involving the 5 of Kyle Conwisher. It also banged up the 3 of Lincoln Cain. Cain was able to continue. Haslett leads, 2 to go. Tom Pinkowski closing on Haslett. Haslett out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Straightaway's short, turns wide, sweeping and flat here at Langley. Haslett out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. Pinkowski behind him. There's 1 to go this time by. Pinkowski not racing for position, content to allow the leader to run unmolested. Tom Pinkowski certainly could try to get behind or around the leader, but with 1 to go, it makes no sense. It's going to be Justin Haslett with the victory, followed by Lincoln Cain in the 3. Cain will finish in second, 1 lap down. Behind Cain will be the 8 of Josh Hohensee, then the 12 of Leslie Jones, and the 13 of Michael Malburn. Those mark out the top 5. Colin McCarthy, after the late spin on the tap from Lincoln Cain, will come home 6th, with Russell Bright 7th. Nicholas Halda will be in the 8th spot, with Thomas Finster 9th, and Tom Pinkowski rounding out the top 10. An excellent run today from Justin Haslett. Haslett takes home the victory in this 50-lap event from Langley Speedway. For the Johnson iRacing Network, this is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.